Hello guys, welcome again. So in this video we'll be talking about HTML heading, the HTML heading, the paragraph, HTML display, the horizontal rules and the line break, and as well as the pre-elements. Okay, so the HTML heading, we are already aware of. The HTML heading are titles or subtitle that want to display, that we wish to use to display on a web page, or that we display on a web page. The H1 defines the most important heading, whereas the H6 defines the least important heading. So which to say we have just six we have six level of the HTML headings. Note that browser automatically adds some white space, that is a margin, before and after a heading. Now let's try out HTML heading in full. Okay, so you can remember from my last video, all I just remove from my last example, all I just removed was I removed all the attributes and value that I have for the relative URL. The rest still remains the same. So I want to change these paragraphs to headers now. That is for the relative URL and the absolute URL. That is what I want to do. So I want to change them to H1. That you can see as I'm changing, the opening tag, the closing tag also changes. That is the power pack that we have in Visual Studio Code. Now I want to do the same here. H1. You can see, remember from this description we said it is used to display titles or subtitles on a web page. You can use it to display. Now, and he also talked about having a space before and after. Now let me show something. Let me duplicate this and change this to P. Let's see something. Look at where this one started from. Look at how where the P started from. Look at where they are. Anyways, on every web page there are automatically new margin that always get added. So when we get to CSS, we will see how to get rid of that. But then, so let's check. Okay, so let me comment this. So let's go to H2. Let's see H2. Okay, so let me uncomment this while I make this H1. So I have H1. Let's make this H2. H2. Then let me make this 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 6, 5, 4, 3. Can you see? That is all your headings. That is what they have. So the H1 is the most important one, while the H6 is the least important one. So we move straight to importance of headings. This does not really necessary for me to read out. You understand? And another thing I want us to know about heading is you can also style your heading. Yes, when you get to CSS, you know you can style anything and everything on a web page. Anything and everything you can style. So you can have an attribute in your H1, your headers, any of your headers. You can have the style elements. So let's try to style one of these. element. Then I have a note here before that say use HTML heading for headings only. Do not use heading to make text big or bold. That is a bad practice, so you must take note of that. Because I want this particular text to be bold, oh, let me use header, since header makes things look big now. Like, no, that is a bad practice. So what we do there is you make use of CSS, either your inline, your internal, or your external. So we want to make use of CSS now to change the style or the size of one of the header. So I want to change the style of header 5. Of course, header 5 should be less important to header 4, but after applying these styles now, this style attribute, I want to make it bigger than header 4 or possibly more than header 3. Style, font size, let me make it font size, let me make it 2M. Let me make it 2M. Can you see? So let me make it, I will get there. We'll get to know this EM and the lights later. So let me use 15 pieces. So I think we should be more familiar with this. Okay, let me make it 25. You can see it is now even more important, or it is more or less like H2. It's looking almost like H2, or even bigger than H2 if I'm not mistaken. It's almost bigger than H2. So you can as well style your headers to change the size, to change how it look. Like I said, you can style anything in CSS. Then the HTML paragraphs. A paragraph always starts on a new line, and it's usually a block text. The HTML p element divides a paragraph. The paragraph always starts on a new line, and browser automatically adds some white space, a margin before and after the paragraph. Now, you should note something, that every text on your web page should be in paragraph, except otherwise where you want to have some block quotes, or you want to have some div. Even inside div, you still have to put a paragraph inside it. Any text you see on your web page, in as much as it's not header, it is not image, it is not an anchor tag, then 90% paragraphs. You can see the example. This is a paragraph, this is another paragraph. You are good. So this is where I would like us to listen very, very attentively now. HTML display. Note this following. The HTML display, in HTML you cannot be sure how HTML will be displayed. 1 point. Large or small screen and resize window will create different results. With HTML, you cannot change the display by adding extra spaces or extra lines in your HTML codes. The browser will automatically remove any extra spaces, lines when the page is being displayed. Now, maybe after having my own example, okay, let me show something here. Oh, I think the other time I have. Let me see. Okay, let me have a paragraph there. Let me see. Let's put something. Okay, I even have a paragraph here. So the paragraph is so. Now, okay, now look at the way this page is being displayed right now. Now let me maximize my video. It still look almost the same, right? still look almost the same. Let me try to, okay. Anyways, let me try to increase the size of one of the image to 500. Let me see if it's still gonna look the same. Still the same. Okay, don't worry, we get to understand what I'm saying better. But what this is trying to tell us is, when you have a particular web page, or after your HTML, you have your HTML, you've completed the HTML page, but you see when you maximize it, what you have is different from when you minimize it, or you reduce the window, or you view it on a mobile phone, or you view it on a tablet. You see they are different. So you cannot say because maybe in my own design I have this. Okay, very good. Look at the way this page is designed now. You will think this particular family image is being centralized, right? But when I maximize the page, it is not centralized. When I maximize the page, you can see it's not centralized. It is aligned to the leftmost part of the document. But if you look at the minimized part here, it is more or less like it is centralized. So I would not say because on a bigger page now, I want it to be centralized. Then I started adding spaces. Okay, let me show you what I'm saying. No amount of space that you may add, it will not reflect. No amount, it will never reflect. Can you see? It will never reflect. But then if you want of spaces to reflect, there's a workaround to that as well. Can you see? This is tab 2. You see nothing is changing. You can see. Okay, sorry. So that is that about the HTML display. Well, at the time we get to CSS, we understand more. Then we have the horizontal rule and the line break. You said the horizontal rule define a thematic break in an HTML page, and is most often displayed as an horizontal rule. The HR element is used to separate content or to define a change in an HTML page. Note the HR tag is an empty tag, which means it has no empty tag. The same thing applicable to the break tag. So I'm just going to use both of them straight up from here. Okay, we used break the other time, so let us try to use the HR tags now. So before then, let me delete this style, the style I have for this. Let me delete the style. So I don't want to have this style any longer. So okay, let me delete this multiple headings too. So now I want this relative URL text and the image to be in the same, at least for a layman to know, okay, these things they are together, the other one too, they are together. So what I just have to do is put an HR here before it, come to the end of it, do the same HR, then come to the end of this, or there too, then you do HR. Oh, what am I having here? No wonder. HR. Can you see? Then you should have 3, right? Can you see? This is the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. So that is just what it does. We've already used break before. So now we have another thing called the pre-formatted element. Before we know what the pre-element does, there's a problem we need to address here. The problem of the poem. We all know what poem is. Now, below is an example of a poem. I want this poem to display like this particular poem. Now if I use paragraph, will it give that to me? So let me use paragraph. Let's see, put the way poem is being written, right? So let me use paragraph. So we have HR. Let me close. Let me have another HR. Yeah, so I want it in between here. Let me see, do I have it here? No, I don't have it. You can see. You can see I just did copy and paste, right? Then this is what I have. You can see everything is on the straight line. Now let me have another HR here, then let me have, now let's have the pre element, then let me have this in between. Let's see. So let me break this to different lines. So let's see, do you have it like that or not? Okay, sorry, I didn't take this along. So it should be like this, like this, like this. Like this, like this, then I have like this. So I don't need P, I only need pre. So let's see. Can you see the poem I in pre-order? Okay, someone said it's because I did not do this one too like that. Okay, so let me try to do that too this way. I know somebody is saying in his mind it's a lie. It's because I did not do it like that. I have my P here. Is it like that or not? Are they the same? No, because even though they are written the same way, they are not the same. So I use this pre element to follow my what's it called, the way I arrange it. any space I put here will definitely appear. Any space I put here. Let's see. Can you see? If I should tap this one too, it's going to be there without using break. Can you see? So for those poets, this is what you need to use. You must use pre-formatted elements. It makes your elements to obey your order. It's as simple as that. So whatever the design you give to it, whatever comma, whatever anything, everything, spaces, white spaces, everything to be there. Instead, the text inside a pre-element is displayed in a fixed width font, usually Courier, and its representative is displayed in a fixed width, usually Courier font, and it preserves both spaces and line breaks. We've checked that already, the spaces we gave to it. Okay, I want to have a space in between each one. I want to have a space, I want to have a space here, have a space here too. Let's see. Can you see? So it preserves both spaces and line space. This comes to the end of this week lesson. Thank you, and see you next week.